So, welcome to the first Garage Talk. I'm DJ Fluck,
I'm Erik Richardson.
and we're of FR Racing. We decided we're going to start this platform as a way to kind of talk about what's going on with our iRacing platform, but also talk a little bit of actual racing.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun over the past almost year now. We're going on 11 months since we created FR Racing, and actually a fun story of how we got going. It's been 13 years in the making.
Hard to believe, one, that it's been almost a year already. It'll be like a year around July 1st. But yeah, I mean, this started as you could really say this is racing was a childhood dream. Erik and I, we've known each other since the fourth grade. We've lived in the same neighborhood our entire childhood growing up. This is racing is very big part of our childhood, from playing the NASCAR series on the original PlayStation many hours, and now we're doing this with iRacing.
Yeah, it all started NASCAR 98, just running around Bristol with the paintball mode on, going crazy.
You were never out of the race because you could take every car out in front of you.
Exactly. And, this whole idea started 2008. We went to the Indianapolis 500, and I don't remember if we were just talking about it or it'd be so cool if we
it was on the drive home.
Team.
It was on the drive home. The Indy 2008 Indy 500. I was the year that Danica Patrick got wrecked in the pits. And
by Ryan Briscoe.
Ryan Briscoe, that's right. And, she got out of her car. It was 10, 15 laps to go. And she starts, straight line to Briscoe's car. And you see him sitting in there getting his car worked on, and he puts his visor down because you could tell he was concerned he was going to get punched. But security intervened and had her leave the track before there was an incident. But the audience there was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad," but never was.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the idea was born. On our website, you can actually see the first version of the FR Racing sponsored car. Over this past year, going on a year, we've already done quite a bit. It's been a fun journey so far, and it's going to be fun to see how we keep moving forward here.
I mean, I had this conversation. Erik brought it up randomly in a text, that would have been cool if we would have got this started, but, experience, money, not living in the same location, that tends to hurt things. But I said, what if we can do it? We just do it not exactly the way we intended. And it's check out this. This is the iRacing platform. And next thing you know, we formed a business. We kind of put together a marketing strategy plan of how we're going to target and be, the way of just kind of documenting our journey as we figure this out and show all the mistakes we're making. And we've made plenty of them. And show people that it's you can do this. It's definitely possible. I mean, we've built up a following of almost 600 Instagram followers over the last year. Our blog on our websites hit 40,000 views a month already, which is just unbelievable. So really excited about our first year, and we're going to talk about just some of the things we're going to do and how everything's going.
Yeah, and we've actually got Wednesday Night Dash going, which is a league that we've created a couple weeks ago. Actually ran the fixed version of the iRacing Indianapolis 500, so that was a great experience. 6 months ago, I didn't enjoy running in traffic, and now I'm trying to run 200 lap races. So definitely the learning curve is huge, but it's coming along, but long way to go still.
I have to ask, that race was supposed to be over in about 2 hours, and it was what it ended up being closer to 4 for you?
Yeah, I figured it'd be about 2.5 hours. We did a 50 lap Indy in 35 minutes. So I figured 2.5 hours, we should be good. At 3.5 hours, we were still going. I think had about 6 laps to go.
And you had you ended up actually leading the field to green because the person who qualified in front of you didn't show. And you had an amazing start on green, left the field completely behind you, and you're maybe 100 yards past the start finish line, and the caution flag is out, and about a third of the field had been taken out in the first 100 yards.
It was a wild race. There were a lot of caution flags. I think I actually brought out the last caution. I had suspension damage. I was trying to broadcast and fuel calculate and drive, and I glanced off my screen just wrong, and turn two, just like the race last weekend, bit a lot of drivers, and it got me too.
On that note, we're trying to keep these shows short because we know people lose interest very quickly. You were at the Indy 500 last week.
Correct. It was so much fun. I was there last year when it was reduced capacity. I actually have 3 tickets for that race because of the one that didn't have fans in 2020. Then it got rescheduled, and then it got pushed to the following year. That we were actually sitting on pit road again, not too far down from where we were in 2008. And, just being there with 325,000 plus people, just seeing all the pomp and circumstance, hearing back home again in Indiana in person, just it's crazy. And you see the racing on track, but it's really fun sitting there on the front stretch watching the pit crews get ready. You can tell when somebody's getting ready to come in as they start setting out the tires, laying out their air hoses. So it's really fun watching that. We were right in front of the timing line, so we saw Dixon kind of wobble going into the pits there on that last stop.
That was
flagged on.
That was a shame. It's just he had run a near flawless race, and then on his last stop, they say races are won and lost in the pits, and he proved that yet again.
And this is kind of fun too. 2 years in a row, we've seen history be made with Castroneves tying the lead with 4 victories, and then Scott Dixon this year passing Al Unser for the all-time laps led of Indianapolis.
That is crazy. That's
really fun to experience those.
He's been just so good over the years, and just the fact that it's been over a decade since he last won, it's really hard to believe, just considering how dominant he has been the last decade in the league. It just shows you how tough that race is. And it's just people criticize like, oh, ovals, I'm turning left 4 times, big deal. Like,
it's an oval, but those are
easy.
4 independent turns.
It's not easy. And you have some of these Formula One drivers who've come over and they walk away and they're just like, that was hard. Especially a lot of people in Europe, they make fun of Americans and their love for oval track racing. It's not easy. Like, I don't care if you're just turning left 4 times. It takes a lot of skill. And at those kind of speeds, it's different. It's different than Grand Prix style racing for sure, but it's still difficult. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see what it's like behind the wheel of a actual cars. In the game, I know sim racing in real life is going to be completely different, but the car comes at you much slower, and you can see the turns going in because you're going with the track versus looking stationary and they're just zipping right by you.
That's my favorite part, is just that car zips right by, and then you've got 33 of them coming by at full speed, just one right after another. I think that's just my favorite part of all that. So we're running long on time, so we got to jump right into Wednesday Night Dash. But before we do that, we're going to do a live read here. We've been working with Rogue Energy. I'm actually sporting the Rogue Energy shirt, the official.
Nice shaker too.
Oh, there you go. Get the shaker. The official gaming, or the official energy drink of gaming, or gamers rather, excuse me. I'm gonna have to re-record that, but they make powder mixes. They have hydration mixes. They're all awesome. So be sure to check that out, rogueenergy.com. Use promo code FRRacingOnline to save 10% at checkout. So moving on, Wednesday Night Dash. Got to move quickly here because we're running up against the edge of our time here. We started this as like, we're just going to jump on and race each other for a week, just kind of figure out what we're doing. And as we moved along, it's like, we could grow this, expand this out, turn it into a league. And we did that. Like we finished our season few weeks ago with the next gen cup cars. We had 11 drivers in the series. We're lost a couple for various reasons. They moved, but we gained a few more. We're up to 13 drivers this season. And, we had our first race, and it unfortunately was not without controversy.
Yeah, we're going to take a peek here.
So,
The first half of the race was fairly uneventful. We are doing a competition caution just to kind of bunch up the field, let everybody get fresh tires. So we have some fun racing. Coming up to the green on the restart, for some reason, there was a car a lap down in the number one spot and actually didn't get waved around.
Yeah, that was really weird. The cars got the wave around, and as he pulled up to the pace car, it changed and it alerted him to stay behind the pace car, which should not have happened. I've actually opened a support ticket with iRacing and told them about this, and they are investigating it. And they replied back, scratching their heads. They don't understand why that would have happened at this point. But go ahead and hit play and show them what happened. So you can see the car in the lower front. The white car in the front's the pace car. The car directly behind it is the car in question that should not have been leading the field to green. I think he was like 3 or 4 laps down. He was sitting in 10th place at the time. Should have got the wave around. The green car directly behind it was actually the leader. So here we go. Go ahead.
You'll see a couple things going here. That car will spin its tires, and then also the kind of tan car towards the back will spin tires as well. So you see the leader go, and he was kind of dropping back through the middle, got loose and ended up hitting one car, then came back around.
And there they go. 1, 2,
4 or 5
3,
cars got collected.
4. And then there was you were in an unrelated accident where you spun your tires too and got popped from behind. So half our field ended up in this accident for one reason or another. And as the safety vehicle essentially drives into you as well.
Yeah, this is the onboard of me. I start spinning my tires on the restart, and I had to get out of it. And unfortunately, I got hit from behind.
I was kind of the last. You can see me on the low side there in the blue and white car. I thought I was going to make it through, and I just kind of got my front end clipped on the way. And fortunately, it was enough that I had to come around and pit next time for the repairs, and ended up 2 laps down. But the driver of the car felt really bad because he was trying to get out of the way of the leaders, just because he was put in that awkward spot, and ultimately lost his back end and caused this chain reaction. And you could say ruined the second half of the race, but I don't put this on the driver. There was no malicious intent here. If they would have, the game would have allowed him to get his wave around, he would have come around, fixed his damage, he would have been back in the race. And it didn't happen. And now, iRacing Support is investigating. We are making a change as far as, I'm going to preload a command on my Stream Deck here for clearing black flags. And if this somehow happens again, we are going to just say, pass the pace car, and I will manually clear your black flag. You can get back in line again, and off we go. And so it's unfortunate, but we investigated it. We talked with the drivers. We watched the replays from 5 different angles. We sent a ticket to support. We have a corrective action. I think we've done, unfortunately, all we can do here. This is not going to change the outcome of last week's race, but racing is racing. Things happen. So
yeah, indeed, racing is racing. And congrats to Richard Hurst for winning the pole in the race. He had a fantastic drive.
He did.
Fun racing with him over the next 7 weeks here.
Fun fact, it's the first non-Chad winner of the series. So
indeed.
The last season was swept by Chad Winstead, who actually was discovered by the Highline Premier League, who we're kind of partnered with at this point. And Highline, they run a pretty competitive Xfinity series, and they actually invited Chad to join their ranks, which is awesome because Chad is an awesome driver, super, super skilled. And I don't think I'm insulting anyone by saying he was much better than most of us out there. So it's good to see Chad getting discovered and being pulled into a competitive league that races on Thursday nights. With our announcer, Kendall Kerr, he actually co-founded that league. So really, really excited that, we helped feed somebody into that league.
And, it's going to be a fun season here. It's been fun past couple of seasons as we've been growing this. We're getting ready to go to the Circuit of the Americas next week.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
It's been interesting so far. Did a little bit of testing just before hopping on here, actually.
It's not a difficult track, but you take that in a truck, driving a Formula One car on the track, which we did the other night, by the way. The stream is on our YouTube. Check that out. It's hilarious. It's my IndyCar view. But take that onto a truck. You're not driving it the same way as a Formula One car. And we were having trouble. I mean, it's jumping in and racing as your way to learn the track is not exactly an ideal situation, but it was a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, but I think there's going to be a lot of chaos. I think the only thing that's going to save us is that this track is so big and we're only 13 cars that may not be the most exciting thing from a racing standpoint, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun to drive in.
Yeah, I agree with that. It should be a fun time. It's going to be interesting, but it'll be a blast.
So on that note, we've run up against the end of our time. Thanks again for watching Garage Talk. Check all our social media out at FR Racing Online, including TikTok. Our Crash of the Week continues to do awesome. It's actually becoming one of our favorite social media posts of the week. And watch Wednesday Night Dash, 10 p.m. East on Wednesday nights most weeks. If you miss it, the replay will be there on the YouTube account.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. And be sure, like DJ said, check us out on social media. And thank you for your support. And we'll keep on racing for you.
All right. We'll be back next week with a recap of our race at COTA. See you next time.
Thank you all.